we're gonna do my favorite reads of 2024 and my favorite reads of 2025. I feel like it's just fair if we start with the books from last year, so we'll do that right now. Okay, so I have them right here. Like, let's just randomly start with them because I actually don't remember like which one I read first and stuff like that. So let's just see. So last year I read Carbon and I actually enjoyed the series so much. Like, I don't know if it was because I read Once Upon a Broken Heart first and I just missed Jax and I needed to know like more about him, his story, so I read Carbon, but I love it. Like, Scarlett and Julia, so good. I finished the whole series, but the last one was one of my favorites, and then the second one was like, it was okay, but the first one is what introduced me to this whole world. I loved it. So I have Carbon. We also have the one that started it all for me, which was Once Upon a Broken Heart. In here, it's the same world, but we follow Jax and Evangeline. If you read Carbon first, you have more of an understanding of why Jax is the way he is, who he's chasing, all that. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart first, and I wasn't confused whatsoever. Like, I got into the story right away, and I was like, okay, he has an ex, he's in love with her, and he's obsessed, and Evangeline is in love with my man, and he's still stuck with his ex, whatever. Then I read Carbon, and I was like, wait, she didn't even love him back. Anyways, Evangeline and Jax, they meet in the most random way. She's in a church, she's wishing for her happy ending. She makes a deal with Jax. Her lover is getting married with his sister, so she thinks he's been poisoned about it. It was a whole thing. Something happens, and then Evangeline is sent to this world, which I don't want to spoil it because I feel like if you had to go through it, you're saying, but this too, they crash. Trust me, they crash every point. So if you want to read this book first, go for it. You're still gonna understand this one if you read this one first. It doesn't really matter, but they crash. They do a lot. So, but Once Upon a Broken Heart, my baby, love it. Don't talk shit about it. Thanks. Then I read, of course, A Police. This way he's done making his drama. Then I read The Battle of Never After, which is the second book of Jack and Evangeline. To be honest, this one I really love. But one thing about me is I don't remember nothing. Like, I could read a book tonight and tomorrow I'll be like, hey, I love this book. I love what it made me feel. Do I remember? But I do remember that in this one, they chasing something. I do remember they're like looking for something, and for Jack, it's for Jack to go back in time. Jack wants to go back in time and make Bella, what's her name, Donatella? Make Donatella fall in love with them, do everything right. Whatever, that's the mission. That's what my girl's doing. And then she wants to get back with Apollo. She wants to get back with him, or like, I think they get like to know each other more here. I don't remember. Like I said, I read this last year. Don't remember. But I do remember the ending of this book. When I told you I cried for like a good 4 weeks about this book, I cried a good 4 weeks about this book. Because throughout the book, you see how they get close. You see how they're fighting for each other, how they're not more enemies. They're like, oh, actually, like, I kind of like you, and I'm going to protect you. And then the ending happens, and then you're like, fuck. And then Apollo comes in, like, and I'm like, hello, where's Jax? And that's what brings us to the third book. When this book came out, I was so happy. Like, I was like, okay, I need to know what happened, because there's no way my girl does not. The fact that I almost spoiled the book for you, crazy. But when The Battle Will Never After ends, right? It ends. The way it ends, this is how this one starts. So I can't say much about this one because it's like if you haven't read that one, if I talk too much about this one, you're gonna get spoiled. Well, anyways, in this one, Jax is in love with my girl, and my girl is like, I don't want you, kind of like that. But I don't know. I can't spoil it. This is the only one that I'm not gonna go too much in detail because it's like you have to read the second one before I even because the plot of this one is the ending of the other one, so can't do that to you guys, okay? We read but we also read the Throne of Glass series last year. I started with, of course, Throne of Glass. I read Crown of Midnight. Don't kill me, but I read Heir of Fire. Is it Heir of Fire? I read it first, and then I read Assassin's Blade. Like, I did not read Assassin's Blade until like 3 books in. Sorry, but I saw on TikTok like you should do it like that, and I did it. It was good. But my favorite books so far of that series are Queen of Shadows and Heir of Fire. The way these books, I'm still like in love with them. Like, even though I read the series, I haven't finished it yet. I still have the last 3 to complete, but it's too long and my heart's no time yet. But when you first read Throne of Glass, Assassin's Blade, Crown of Midnight, it's like an intro. Both of those 3 of those books, like, they're all introductions. Like, they're like telling you what the world is about, like, oh, who Selena is, who Dorian is. Introductions. Once you get to this book, the ending of Crown of Midnight introduces you to the beginning of this book, and you're like, oh, okay. In this one, she's at the beginning, she's kind of like escaping, like, she's like, oh no, like, I don't want nothing to do with my name, I don't want nothing to do with the king I just left behind, like, I don't want nothing to do with nobody, and she's just drinking her life away. Then she meets somebody. That person, just like at the beginning, he's like, just a fucking little girl that doesn't want to do nothing. Like, don't you understand that this is important? And then, whatever, at the end, they start getting close because he's like pushing her to become the best version of her. And I really love that. Like, a man that pushes you to be the best version of yourself, I'm sold. Then, once we finish that book, we get to Queen of Shadows. Queen of Shadows is amazing. Like, Queen of Shadows, you get different point of views. I'm pretty sure you get Maron's, I don't know her name, sorry, I'll put it right here, but you get her point of view, how he's like, it's not dragons, I forgot the name, griffins? No, it's not griffins, but it's like dragons. They get like, these witches, they get like gifted some kind of dragons or something by the king, because they're like working together, and you get their point of views, you get all that, everything she had to do with her grandma and how to get empowered with the 13s. And then you go back and you get Dorian's point of view here and there of everything he's going through. My boy, God. And then you get point of views of Selena and Rowan and even Lysandra, you get point of views of her. And it's just an amazing book because it's just like everything the other ones were preparing you for, in here it gets so much better. Like, if you love Throne of Glass, you're gonna love Queen of Shadows. Lastly, I read last year. Like, I read it last year, but I'm pretty sure it was beginning of this year too. I think it was December. I think I started on December but finished January. Let's just say. I could be so wrong. But we read Quicksilver. We read Quicksilver, and I don't know why this book gets so much hate on TikTok. Like, I love every page of it. Not gonna lie, at the beginning I was confused. I was like, okay, like, why is this man being like that? And then you start like, okay, you start eating it up. And like, the found family here, it just reminds me so much of Akatar. Like, how she became friends with his friends, and how they became all close. Even the little fox, she adopts a fox. Like, she finds this fox in the woods. She's like, you're coming home with me. And he's like, you know that they're kind of dangerous. She's like, no, they're not. He's just like a little puppy. And he's like, fine, keep it. So it's just like amazing. And then I'm not gonna say it's a slow burn because he actually wasn't. Like, I feel like they were flirting with each other here and there, but he will say little things that will be like, okay, like, does he man hate humans? Like, what's going on? But later on, you understand why he's the way he is when it comes to her. Like, why he's so, I wouldn't say against the word human, but like protective, I guess. And then you get to know why he named her the way he did. At the beginning, when he named her that, I was like, damn, what an asshole. Like, I was like, why are you naming her that? And then I was like, oh yeah, I love this book. It's not annotated because I read it on my Kindle, but I do want to go and reread and annotate a lot of this book because it was just so amazing. Okay, so yes, those were the books I read in 2024. Now let's just get into this year. Let's start with this one. I recently finished Say You Swear by Megan Randy. I read this like, I think I finished like 3 weeks ago actually. It was such a good read. Like I actually read it, I think it's because I was watching Larry Reads, and I was just like, she always talks about this book, and I'm like, you know what, let's give it a try. And I haven't read, like I was on my fantasy era, and it was like a good way to get out of fantasy and get into romance. When I tell you, I read this book in like a day, I was hooked. Not gonna lie to you, I posted a TikTok and I was like, hey, like I think I'm at the end of this book, because to be honest, the first couple chapters when she's obsessed with the guy, what's his name, I forgot his name already, Chase. When she's obsessed with Chase, they're so boring. Like I'm like, oh my god, this book's getting on my last nerve. But let me tell you something. Once Noah, what's his last name? Noah Riley. Once Noah Riley gets introduced into this book, yeah, let's just say I continue reading because of him. That man will cook for her. Like, do I have the same one? No, exactly. Amazing. Now let's talk about a sad book that I read this year, which was actually, I read it for my trip to DR, and I think it was the best bit I did. Imagine I read it over there. I was actually I'm thinking about bringing it to with me for vacation, because it's a beach. It might be giving, I mean, it's a beach, I think. I don't know. I was like, it's kind of giving me summer vibes. I'm gonna bring it with me. But then all my friends on TikTok or like Instagram, they were like, girl, read it before you go. Read it before you go. And I'm like, okay, fine. Like I'll read it before I leave. I had never been so emotionally destroyed like I was with this book. Yeah, like this book destroyed me. Okay, this book broke me right around like here. Put my heart back together here, and I was like, oh my god, we're happy. Like why don't we have that much pages left and we're happy, right? Yeah, destroyed me. And the book had me crying at the gym. Like I brought this book the first day I started reading it, and I had to put it away because why did I start crying on page 14? Yeah, but amazing. Either way, one of my favorites. I also read this year the Devil's Night series. I read Corrupt, Hideaway. They were my favorites. I was like, oh, you know what? If I like this too, that's it. Like I like them. People were like, oh girl, wait until you get Will in Damon's book. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I really love Damon. I cannot wait to read his book. Girl, when I read The Kill Switch, when I read about Damon, his story, the way he was with Winter, this man can do no wrong in my eyes. Like you can sit here right now and tell me everything wrong he did, and I'm like, I don't care. Like I actually deeply, genuinely, I don't care. Like he does no wrong in my eyes. Like I don't care. Then you go to Will's story. Actually, I don't even remember which one's first. Actually, yeah, Will was the last book. Then you go to Will's story. You get to know his love interest better, because in the previous book, he makes little comments about her, like, oh, fuck that girl, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, what did she do? Like, was she actually like a bad girl? Then you get to her, like their book, and you get to know her, and you're like, oh, this girl was going through it. Like, imagine like Shannon from Binding 13. That girl was going through it, literally. Her as well. So you get to know her. You get to know why Will is the way he is. Then they find each other. It was just amazing. I loved this series so much. Now that I was talking about Shannon, I read the whole 1913 series, Boys of Tallman. I don't have them on me. I read them on my Kindle, so I'll put them here. The only one that I haven't read is The Claiming 10, because it just came out, and I'm actually not actually invested in her story because I don't like her, but I do want to read it because you have to give the character a chance. But yeah, I read the whole series. Like in 2 weeks, I read all the books, and I just recently finished Taming 7, Chef's Kiss. Like, I don't have the physical book. I only have the Binding 13 one, which is it's an old copy, but I only have 1913. Like I don't have like the other ones. But but I didn't even read it. Yeah, I read it on my Kindle. And lastly, we have Onyx Store. You can see the annotations. This book, a lot of people hated it, but in my opinion, it did what it had to do. Like for a third book in a series, it gave us third book in a series. Like it had to give us the world building, the introductions, little details here and there, but not everything at once because, babe, let's be realistic, 2 more books are coming out. So yeah, I like it. I had no complaints of it. I rated it 5-star. Like it gave me what it was supposed to give me. Like when I told you I annotated a lot, when I told you I cried when I was surprised, the book 8. And people are, oh, like I waited 1 year for this. I'm like, babe, do you understand that it's a series? There's 2 more books coming out. This is a third book, and he gave third book. So I don't care, but he gave third book. That's it. Oh wait, I was talking about Onyx, and I even haven't talked about my other book. Wait. Okay, lastly, okay, I need water. I've been talking here for the past hour. Okay. Lastly, my favorite book of this year, The Grey Undoing, Daisy Hates. And I don't even know why we named it Daisy Hates. When this book, Julian was actually the one that carried the whole book. Don't get me wrong, I love Daisy and Christian, but Julian in this book, like Magnolia who? BJ who? Magnolia and Julian need to be together, like ASAP. Like the way Julian would treat Magnolia, the way he knew she was still in love with her ex, and he was still giving her like 100%, but he was so scared to be like, oh no, like, but then once he was like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm in love with this girl, and I'm gonna show her I'm in love with her. And then when he did what he did about like, oh, like, yeah, like I can't keep putting her in danger, my job is dangerous, I can't keep putting her in danger, let me do this to hurt her so she can like go back with BJ. Why did that hurt me? Why? Because you can tell he did not want to hurt her, but he had to. Not had to, but I don't know. This man cannot do no wrong in my eyes. Like Damon, Will, and Julian, bigger defender. Like I'm their defender. Like I get paid to defend them. Like I don't care. So yeah, Julian hates the man more. But that, I think that's pretty much it, people. Like we talk about my favorite books of last year. We talk about my favorite book of this year, and that's pretty much it. That's all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have more recommendations of what you want me to make, let's record next time, you can go to my Instagram and leave me like little like, hey girl, do this, and I'll do it. Like I'll do it so fast. I was actually thinking about doing like my second video, like a 24-hour readathon, because it looks fun. It looks fun. I don't know if it's gonna be fun. It looks fun. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to message me with any ideas. Follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok, and